Hello guys, it's Darksigner here from the German Duel Masters channel. Welcome back to another duel video. Today I got a top 4 match for you guys from our second IDC tournament, which we held in October. So that one was a bit more recent. And in this top 4 match we have Diffindo, a Singaporean player playing against a Rykketard on the top of your screen, a player from Poland, so another international match here. And let's see how that one goes. Diffindo is playing a very interesting deck. He went with a Deckout strategy with 80 cards in his deck, so that's quite a hefty count here. That's maybe a point for discussion, but it worked out quite well for him. He's in the semi-finals at this point. And he's playing against Rykketard, who is on RUB, but not RUB control. He plays a RUB Aggro build with cards like Deadly Fighter, Melnia and Pyrofighter Magnus. As you could see, he went in for 2 quick shields early on here, but got discarded by Cloned Nightmare 2 times. So he's down in resources in his hand, but that lucky ball came in really clutch here. That one got a little bit of the advantage back, and of course he has to go in really fast, otherwise the Deckout deck can just control the game and win slowly but steadily. And he plays an Aqua Hulkus followed up by a Pyrofighter Magnus. That's the type of play you really want to see in this deck, going in fast and trying to finish as early as possible. The playstyle is similar to a rush deck. Maybe it's just that he plays some more cards for the mid game, but in late game this deck really doesn't stand a chance against the control deck. And the Clone Nightmare hits again. So yeah, Rykketard's still not out of steam. He can still win this game, but that Juliana is really standing in his way. And now Diffindo can remove everything from the board. So I think at this point it's really hard for the aggressive deck to win, because the control deck really has all the advantage at this point, and the Baza Gazil might seal the deal here. The speed attacker came in really clutch, and what is nice about that is that the Hyper Sprint Warrior goes over the Juliana, so if he decided to block that, the Juliana would be dead. So that was actually a nice top deck. And now he starts slash sharding away good cards of his opponent's deck. So at this point the strategy is getting a bit more proactive. And yeah, at this point Spalding pointed out in the chat that Hyper Sprint Warrior shouldn't have been killed by Burst Shot, as it still has its power boost when Burst Shot is broken. But in Diffindo's turn, the Faliga could have just killed it by battle, so the outcome would be the same. And yeah, he mills Pyrofighter Magnus. That's the right move, as it just is one hell of a speed attacker from the top of the deck that can crash with Juliana. Yeah, at this point he tries to keep cards in hand because he knows Diffindo has Baza Gazil Dragon in hand, so he at least has to get 2 cards on the board at the same time. And now Diffindo uses Miraculous Snare on himself. That is what makes the card really flexible. you can remove opposing creatures basically for the duration of the whole game, or you can retrieve own creatures to your shields so you survive some more attacks. So it's the perfect card for the Deckout strategy. And now you can he thought he could stick 2 cards on board, but he only has 6 mana, so he decides to take back that move, as Bazagazil would kill any creature he would leave on the board. But that makes him vulnerable to Lost Soul. So yeah, Diffindo has the control advantage here, and yeah, just has to play it out, mill all speed attackers, and yeah, at this point I think there's no way for him to lose that first game. A top decked Hyper Sprint Warrior again, that's nice. Can get rid of the last shield or Juliana. I think I would have taken the shield as well, because it's a Fal Eager, we know that. That one can recycle any spell out of Diffindo's graveyard again. So you can just recycle the Miraculous Snare again and set the Fal as a shield, so basically you didn't lose anything. And can just kill it by battle, so yeah. That play did nothing. So really bad spot to be in now for the aggressor. And the saddest part about that is that Rykketard doesn't have knowledge what is in his shields and what is in his deck. So he doesn't know how many speed attackers he has left, because they could be in shields 1 through 5. And so you don't know if you can just scoop it up or play it out until the last card is drawn. But of course, if you can't be sure and you're in the top 4, I would have played it out as well. Play until you really know there's no chance of you winning that game. Yeah, slashing away card by card doesn't look too good. And Shock Hurricane is also a big combo card for a Deckout deck. At this deck size, you can afford to play something like that. Recycle your own other recyclers, and yeah, Rykketard really trying his best to stay alive here, but I think yeah, he has Crimson Hammer and Bazagazil, so he can get rid of 2 creatures. And even if he didn't get rid of both creatures, there would still be 2 Julianas standing in Rykketard's way, and yeah, he decides to go back and forth with playing Deadly Fighter or not, and just keeps it in hand. And like I said before, I think this game is basically over. Yeah, there are 3 cards left in deck, and that final Slash Charger doesn't have to mill anything specific. That's definitely the game. And so we go to game 2. Problem which we faced here is that Diffindo still had possession of Rykketard's deck, as he was going through it with Slash Charger and forgot to give the control back to its owner. So when he clicked Set Up Battle Zone, he set up both his decks. So his decks in quotation marks, his own deck and Rykketard's. So they are on the under the control of the same player. So we had to reset the whole game to solve that issue. And finally the players have all their cards set up in the right order. So Rykketard going first and has the turn 1 play. That's a really good side for him, as Diffindo can't defend himself early on. It has to bank on shield triggers. And Cook Polon is also a nice card, bearing any blockers. That one can go in for multiple shields, but it is met with Crimson Hammer that can of course deal with it. But yeah, fast start again by Rykketard. Let's see if he can come through this time. Playing a Logic Cube, and he searches for Volcano Charger, which has multiple purposes. It gets you into your mass removal range, like Burst Shot and Blizzard of Spears, one turn earlier, and gets rid of another 2k or less attacker, so that's really nice. And Logic Cube can search for the Blizzard, for example, or maybe a discarder, yeah, Cloned Nightmare for the Pyrofighter Magnus, as that one is really dangerous at this point. And another shield trigger, another searcher, Crystal Memory. It's nice that you see many shield triggers against an aggro deck, but of course you'd rather see the shield triggers that actually deal with the board instead of all the searchers and draw stuff. Yeah, and that was a quick game too. So Rykketard ties it up at 1 apiece. The triggers were nice, but as I said, not the right ones. And going first is definitely an advantage here for Diffindo, as he can defend himself a turn earlier. And seeing that his opponent doesn't have a turn 2 play is also what he wants to see. And yeah, Rykketard, maybe he screwed up mana wise if he has many multi-sieves like Melnia in hand. But it's just quite unfortunate, as he plays like Aqua Guard and Deadly Fighter as 1-drops and Cook Polon and other stuff, so yeah, maybe just a bit unlucky at this point. And the Pyrofighter as the first attacker isn't that great as well. Gets rid of a shield, but you don't get any board advantage. And now Diffindo can start to fight back with a Cloned Nightmare that hits a Lucky Ball, and I think it was lucky that he didn't hit Pyrofighter Magnus, as I think that's the only way for Rykketard to win this. Getting some other creatures on board as well would be needed, but the Pyrofighter itself is also quite strong. But he definitely needs more. Just the Pyrofighter won't be enough, because I think Diffindo will get enough discard by the point he can finally fight against Pyrofighter the next 1 or 2 turns. So I think that one isn't going to kill him. And now I think there will be mass removal. No, okay, only Volcano Charger, but maybe he follows it up with a Miraculous Snare. So he doesn't, but Logic Cube searches out Lost Soul, and that is exactly what I said. In the next 1 or 2 turns he's going to have an answer for that Pyrofighter Magnus. So I think now the best place to stick as many creatures from your hand on board as possible. That is exactly what he's going to do. He can get rid of 2 more shields if there isn't any trigger, but oh, that's quite unfortunate. Wow, but that was a misplay. He should have killed the Lucky Ball that can still attack, because Pyrofighter would be bounced back to the hand, and he has the Lost Soul for the hand. Or maybe he has the mass removal already and wants to get rid of the whole board now and doesn't want his opponent to have a Pyrofighter. Yeah, he does, so he had the burst shot to clear the board, and he banks on the last card in Rykketard's hand not being a speed attacker, and he gets rewarded. So were only two normal creatures that still have summoning sickness, so he can deal with them this turn. Plays an energy stream. Let's see if he can follow it up with some removal. He does. Yeah, wow, nice combination there. Two cards that you don't see too often, Crimson Hammer and Proclamation of Death, but he plays them because you have to somehow fill up the space for an 80 card deck. So some niche removal spells seeing play in this one. And yeah, I think at this point we're at the same stage of the game like in game 1. Diffindo has not full control, but basically he's in the driver's seat now. He just has to answer every creature Rykketard is playing every turn, and he's good to go. And if he finally stabilizes, he can start slashing out cards out of Rykketard's deck that can be useful, and yeah, that's what he does this turn. Start getting rid of some speed attackers. Yeah, or Crystal Paladin, which is a pseudo speed attacker if you combine it with bait, but he then decides to take it back and get rid of the safe option, the Pyrofighter Magnus, probably the best card in the deck. Baza Gazil against Propeller Mutant is also pretty nice because it can't be discarded by it. It only discards another card from the hand, which was a Logic Cube. Yeah, now I think Diffindo is probably going to win this. The probability is really high at this point. He has full control now. There's nothing on board. The hand is cleared. Rykketard is top decking every turn, and Diffindo has the Baza Gazil as basically a Terror Pit every turn, and he just has to wait for his mill cards to speed up the deck out process, and then he's going to win this. Logic Cube probably searching for a Slash Charger. Oh, okay, or a Corpse Charger, which is also pretty nice as it recycles Faliga, which recycles Cloned Nightmare. That's also a really good combo. So Rykketard can't even decide to keep cards in hand unless he is okay with losing them to Cloned Nightmare. And now he baits out Juliana, I think. Yeah, that one crashes in. Yeah, the Melnia is nice as it can take out Baza Gazil Dragon, but if he has another removal like Crimson Hammer, which he does, that doesn't pose any threat. Cook Polon is also nice against Baza Gazil Dragon. Two cards that are actually really good against Baza Gazil because Cook Polon can't be attacked. So he has to find another removal card. But first he decides to take back the Slash Charger. But doesn't play it as he has to use Terror Pit on Cook Polon. And yeah, he's still fighting though, but I think the game is over. At this point he's just recycling his slash chargers to to reuse all his mill cards, and just picks out cards one by one to speed up the process. And I don't think there are any good cards left in Rykketard's deck. As you see, he top decked Deadly Fighter Braidclaw, which is really bad against 2 blockers on board, and I think he didn't even have to kill those cards with APOC, but yeah, that one is definitely going to Diffindo. So we will see him in a finals game that will be uploaded in the next days. I hope you guys enjoyed this matchup, as this one is just going on for some time until Rykketard finally decides to concede, or Diffindo finally decking him completely out, whichever one comes first. And yeah, finally he decides that it's over, and GG to both guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed it, and see you at another duel video.